I can talk through here then, can't I?
Yes, Mataji. Yeah, we can start now.
Haribol, yeah.
That is the live streaming.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I do a Jai Radha, shall I?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Hari. And do the Mangala Charan now. Om Jnana-timiranyasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nana Shastra Vicharanai Kanipuna Shadsa Dharma Samstapaka Lokanam Hitakanino Tribhuvani Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padana Bindi Bhajana Nande Namaskaraka Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghu Yoga Sri Jivana Gopalaka Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghu Yuga Sri Jivana Gopalaka Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapada Kamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavasi Pashyatari Ditarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Well, my subject was a follow-on from my last discussion on controlling the mind. So I specifically chose to follow on this by talking about control, the word control. The theme is, for me, is controlling the mind, and now I'm thinking about controlling the senses, which leads me to the Nectar of Instructions, verse 1. I specifically chose this because of the reason that I'm really interested in how can one control the mind and how can one control the senses, which I find very, very difficult. So that's my area of discussion today, and I hope it will be a discussion and not just me talking. That'd be nice to involve a couple of us, yeah. So I've told you where it is from, Nectar of Instruction, verse 1. It's also known as Sri Upadeshtamritam. And this is, what does it mean?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes.
You want me to share the screen, Mataji?
You can. Well, I've got it written. Well, you can do, but for Mataji's sake, yes, that'd be nice.
It's the Nectar of Instruction. Which was Mataji? 4.
Verse 1.
Verse 1. Okay.
Controlling the senses.
Yes. Yes, Mataji. Now it's ready.
Okay, this small book, the Upadeshamrita, or Nectar of Instruction, has been devised by it's an important Gaudiya Vaishnava spiritual text composed by Rupa Goswami. The Upadeshamrita was translated into English in its entirety by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada also gives extensive commentaries on this, on each translated verse within the Upadeshamrita. In the Nectar of Instruction, Prabhupada writes, the Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. The Gaudiya Vaishnavas, or Bengali Vaishnavas, are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur has sung Rupa Raghunatha Padeha Ebi Akuti Kabe Kahama Bujabe Se Yugala Piriti. I think Gauranga Mataji might know this song. Do you know it, Mataji? Anyway, it says, when am I eager to understand the literature given
Hare
by
Krishna
the...
Mataji. Sorry.
Yes. Do you know
Yeah.
this? You know it?
Which one, Mataji?
It says, Rupa Raghunatha Pade Haibi Akuti Kabe Hama Bujaba say.
Short Goswami.
Yes.
Short Goswami Ashtakam Mataji.
This is Srila Narottama Dasa Thakur song this.
Okay, I will check, Mataji,
Sir,
from my book.
this was Mataji. Sir.
Anyway, so I'm just saying this is what it says the meaning is, when am I eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. All verses of Upadeshramrita, Nectar of Instruction, translated by Prabhupada. He actually translated it in an easier version for us to understand. So the Sanskrit Nectar Instruction, verse 1, known as Sri Upanadeshramrita, the verse says, Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jifva vegam udaro pasta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam mipamam pritavim sashishyat Vacho vegam manasaha kroda vegam jiva vegam udaro pashta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam pritavim shashishyat. So what does it mean? Vacha. I'm going to and do the synonyms of speech, vegan, urge, manasaha, of the mind, kroda, of anger, vegam, urge, jiva, of the tongue, vegam, urge, udara, upasta, of the belly and genitals, vegan, urge, eaten, these, vegan, urges. So that's the plural of vegam. And whoever visheshita can tolerate, but vishaheta can tolerate, dhiraha, sober, sarvam, all, api, certainly, imam, this, pritavim, world, saha, that personality, shishyat, can make disciples. So the translation says, oh, a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the action of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So this word, Upadesha Amritam, it's two parts to it. The meaning is, in the Sanskrit form, the term means instruction, upadesha, or teaching. It refers to imparting knowledge or guidance. Amritam, Sanskrit, Amritam translates to nectar or immortality. It symbolizes something that brings eternal bliss or wisdom. So therefore, Upadeshamritam can be understood as nectar of teachings or immortal instructions. It suggests wisdom or guidance that has lasting value. The word beautifully combines the idea of learning and eternal significance. Certainly, the Nectar of Instruction is a valuable guidebook of essential spiritual teachings. It was originally written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami, a prominent spiritual genius of medieval India. Here are some key points from this text. Qualifications for a guru. It says that a sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, control the mind's demands, manage anger, and curb the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. It's worldwide, all over. So, and it also, another key point is the sweetness of Krishna's holy name. Prabhupada has described it and says that if you take the sweetness of Krishna's holy name, you will strengthen your faith and determination to chant japa by repeatedly hearing the wonderful glories of the holy name and by studying different slokas in praise of Nama Bhajana. Such practices are endorsed by the previous acharyas, such as Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakura, who said, chant the Nama Mahama, glories of the holy name. Practice that daily. I also do that. Harinama is our life. By chanting Krishna's sweet names purifies the heart, sanctifies and steadies the mind, destroys the 6 enemies, which is lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, madness, and it stops birth and death, dissolves sins, scorches samskaras, annihilates detachment, induces detachment, uproots desires, empowers one, makes one fearless, removes illusion, bestows supreme peace, delivers prema, reveals the Lord and his Dharma, shows one's Swarupa, showers bhakti rasa, and engages one in his nitya seva for the pleasure of Radha Shyama. Chanting Krishna's name daily awakens a natural relish, even for those afflicted by ignorance, which is avidya. They say the hearing, seeing, and experience are the same, but is it legitimate by saying that? Okay, one's devotional service is spoiled when it becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities that we engage ourselves in. This is which is eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than require, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject matters, practicing the scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically, associating with worldly-minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and being greedy for mundane achievements. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. So if you want to change what we just listed, this is the way to be channeling your energy, to become very enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regular principles, such as Sravana, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. Srimad Bhagavatam, quote 7, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, 5, 23. Hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. And that is the answer to our predicament, pure devotional service. How do we get there? And then there is also offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasadam and offering prasadam are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee and to another. Okay, certainly the Nectar instruction is a valuable guidebook of essential spiritual teachings. It was originally written in Sanskrit by Srila Rupa Goswami, a prominent spiritual genius of medieval India, as I said earlier on. Here are some key points, and I mentioned about you would have to have a qualification for a guru, as it says here in the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhavati Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. Sorry, I'm late. I just came back from work.
Thank you, Mataji, for joining. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jahnukanya Mataji is going to join back again. So it seems there are some internet issues.
Okay, okay. Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So I think by the time Mataji joins, so we shall read some purport from this Nectar of Instruction.
Oh, Nectar of Instruction.
Yes, Mataji, the first shloka.
Vacho Vegam. Is that the one, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, yes.
I'll just take the book. I find difficult to read on the
Yeah, sure.
mobile. If you don't mind, thank you.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, you want me to read?
Yes, Mataji, so first paragraph.
Yeah, sure.
Purport.
The translation is done, yeah? A sober person.
You can read from translation onwards, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu.
In fact, you can read from the verse as well.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Some verse as well. Verse
Oh, verse. Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Juha Vegam Udaropasta Vegam Etan Veganyo Vishaheta Sarvam Apimam Pratvim Sashishyate. Do you want me to read the word to word synonyms?
Translation and purport.
Translation, okay. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitalia is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, 9 to 10 verse, Parishit Maharaj placed a number of intelligent questions before Shukadeva Goswami. One of these questions was, why do people undergo atonement if they cannot control their senses? For instance, a thief may know perfectly well that he may be arrested for his stealing, and he may actually even see another thief arrested by the police, yet he continues to steal. Experience is gathered by hearing and seeing. One who is less intelligent gathers experience by seeing, and one who is more intelligent gathers experience by hearing. When an intelligent person hears from the law books and shastras or scriptures that stealing is not good and hears that a thief is punished when arrested, he refrains from theft. A less intelligent person may first have to be arrested and punished for stealing to learn to stop stealing. However, a rascal, a foolish man, may have the experience of both hearing and seeing, and may even be punished, but still he continues to steal. Even if such a person atones and is punished by the government, he will again commit theft as soon as he comes out of jail. If punishment in jail is considered atonement, what is the benefit of such atonement? Thus Parikshit Maharaja inquired. दृष्टश्रुतभ्यं यत्पापं जना जा sorry जनानामपि आत्मनो अहितं करोति भूयो विवशः प्रायश्चित्तम् अतो कथम् क्वचित् निवर्तते भद्रात् क्वचित् चरति तत्पुनः प्रायश्चित्तम् अतो अपार्थं मन्ये कुञ्जर शौचवत्. Parikshit Maharaj compared atonement to an elephant's bathing. The elephant may take a very nice bath in the river, but as soon as it comes onto the bank, it throws dirt all over its body. What then is the value of its bathing? Similarly, many spiritual practitioners chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and at the same time commit many forbidden things, thinking that their chanting will counteract their offenses. Of the 10 types of offenses one can commit while chanting the holy name of the Lord, this offense is called Namno Balad Yasya Hi Papa Buddhihi, committing sinful activities on the strength of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Similarly, certain Christians go to church to confess their sins, thinking that confessing their sins before a priest and performing some penances will relieve them from the results of their weekly sins. As soon as Saturday is over and Sunday comes, they again begin their sinful activities, expecting to be forgiven the next Saturday. This kind of prayaschitta or atonement is condemned by Parikshit Maharaja, the most intelligent king of his time. Shukadeva Goswami, equally intelligent as befitting the spiritual master of Maharaja Parikshit, answered the king and confirmed that his statement concerning atonement was correct. A sinful activity cannot be counteracted by a pious activity. Thus, real prayaschitta, atonement, is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Jahnukanya Mata has joined now.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Right, yes. Where was I? Can't remember where I was now. Okay. Yeah. So Maharaj Parikshit was questioning Shukadev Goswami about why do people reoffend, and was stating later on that atonement doesn't seem to work. So what is the answer? So anyway, and he gave an instance about people witnessing somebody being arrested by the police and probably put in prison, and they still it's not a deterrent to stop them from repeating reoffending pattern. And it goes on, even when they say they're sorry, they go and repeat. And I was asking the group, why do you think that is? What's the reason for this kind of reoffending pattern? Does anybody have an idea?
This one he got a taste, Mataji. So the Rasavajjam Rasopyasya Param Drishtva Nivartati. That taste still remains for doing the sinful activity. So again, he doesn't bother about these punishments. Again, because of the taste, he will come to the influence to commit such a sinful activity.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Very well said. And the taste is connecting with our lustful desire, isn't it? That we have desire and sometimes we don't act on those desire. There's a difference between desire and sinful thoughts. But when you desire, you don't always act on it. But if you actually want to offend, you carry on doing it all the time. It's something that it's like a chronic situation you can't avoid. Yeah, so it says here, in the material world, us humans are equipped with imperfect, defective senses because we're conditioned souls. And it's revealed by sanctified scriptures as in Golokera Premadhana, Harinama Sankirtana. So why do we believe that? Because it is sanctioned, it's these information. We don't whimsically take anything that we hear. We have to have it sanctified. So how do we get evidence that is genuine? Is by reading these scriptures or hearing it on the news, and then we believe it. But speaking, I wonder if I can go back to my desk because it's quieter there. Can I take the ether connection out? Probably. Would it work?
I think so, Mataji. You can do that one, I think.
I'll try, because they used to say a whole hour you have to leave it on. I don't know if it's the same thing. I'll try. Haribol. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, so how do we get our information? Which way is the best way to get information? Hearing or which one is more effective, hearing or listening? Well, listening is hearing.
Yeah, they both same, no, Mataji.
Yes, both hearing or speaking. Which one is it?
Hearing.
Yes, absolutely. When you hear is something that is registered and is legitimate, because you only hear stuff that is sanctified, that's been endorsed by legitimate information, like through the scriptures, the Sanskrits. How do we get it channeled to us? It's been ordained from years. It's revealed in the scriptures, and it's been authorized and it dissipates in the correct way, so people all over the world can justify that it's coming from good sources. But by listening, by speaking, you can go and speak anything, and you can tell people, and by the time the third party hears it, it's watered down, and so you can make up your own story. And say any whimsical thing, and people would say, oh yeah, some people believe you and some don't. It depends who they are. Okay, so we will say, how do we develop our experience? We through listening, hearing, and legitimate hearing, of course. That's how we develop our experience. We have to experience it, and then we become more. I'm sorry, I lost the trail because I got connected twice. Okay. So so this sanctified hearing is through evidence-based. You know, it's not whimsical. And how do we get it? We get it from history. We get it from reading. We get it from you know, legitimate incidents like the World War One. None of us witnessed it, but we heard it. It's in history. It's written. It's genuine. It's not you know, hearsay. And it's a big event. So these are those way we hear about good information. All right. So there are some incidents about part of the verse talk about anger. Can any one of us say we've never been angry? When we're angry, what happens to us? What happens to our physique? What happens to our thinking, our body? We get into a real state, don't we? And we get very anxious, and we destroy our smooth, easy, you know, loving, peaceful self by getting disturbed in a disturbance, showing in outer a countenance. So we are really not very comfortable when we get into this kind of situation. So what is the answer to that?
So krodha, when we get krodha, क्रोधोद्भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. So that is the reason dhyato vishan pumsah sangashteshu upajayate sanga sanjayate kamah kamat krodho bhijayate. So the very seed of this anger comes from the dhyato vishan, when we are contemplating the objectives of this material world. I want to watch movie, I wanted to have a gossip, I wanted to do that, I want to do this. So these are all so many seeds of the sense enjoyment. So that is where it starts and it ends with the pranasyati. So and in the middle, kurodha also comes. When the desires are not fulfilled, then kurodha comes. So in order to deviate from the vishayan, dhyato vishayan pumsaha, so that vishayan, instead of vishayan, if we dhyato bhagavan, then dhyanena anishwaran bhunan प्राणायाम हेदघोषान् धारणाभिषेकिल्भिषान् प्रत्याहारेण संसर्गान् dhyanen anishwaran gunan. When we are staying with Krishna and hearing Krishna, meditating on Krishna Katha and his form and his devotees, his paraphernalia, then when we are doing dhyayato, then all further consequences until pranasati, they will be completely stopped. So we are completely contemplating on Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme, like he will control all other things. We are always with the devotees, we are all pleasing, good conversations happens. We don't get any time this anger or the Vishyan Upasevati, that we don't do it. So everything is transcendental. That way we can avoid all this. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhu. Okay. There is coming to the anger again. I think I'm going to give you some incidents. There is the Kauravas. How did they come about? Does anybody know how they came about? Because the mother was very angry. What did she do when she was angry?
She just hit her womb, and then the fetus got divided into. So it was actually damaged, and then Vyasadeva has come, and then he took that fetus and divided it into 101 parts, different parts, and then It is in fact 100 parts. That is,
100, yes, yeah.
and one is the daughter of all Kauravas.
Yes. So she was angry, and so she battered her tummy, and the baby was stillborn. And so the baby was dissected into 100 pieces and put into 100 pots. And that's how she developed 100 sons, the Kauravas. Does everybody else know that? That's how they came about? How did we know that? Because the Shastra says so, isn't it? We know it through knowledge from the Shastra, geography, history, physiology, all those kind of information came about. So that's leading from what I was saying about hearing. You hear about it through genuine source. It's been endorsed through good information. It's not a hearsay. You know, all the time when you have hearsay, we will take it and then it will have a trail of wrong information. So this hearing is genuine good information, and speaking is not good information. They say the intelligent person will hear and utilize that hearing in a very sensible and relishable form, but the speaker is not so intelligent because they just follow a trail of information through word of mouth, and not all word of mouth is genuine. Okay, and there was there was also to follow on to the atonement that doesn't work. They were also saying about the incident about the elephant. After the elephant has bathed, what does it do? It actually reestablishes a messy body by bathing into this sand and the mud and everything. So again, it's a way of, as Prabhu mentioned about, you know, the conditioned way of repeated pattern that is lustful desire turned into repeated actions. And then you have, which is the worst of the senses, the six senses? Does anybody know? Which is the most poisonous one?
I think it is sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita and verse number around 30 Mataji. I don't know.
Yes, it is the sixth Bhagavad Gita 6. But it's the tongue. The tongue is the most poisonous senses because it can actually it can tell too many poisonous stories and hurt people and do a lot of damages more than any other senses. But all of them can be distorted and made into, you know, unacceptable, unpleasant behavior and relationships, spoiled relationship. So, you know, the saying about seeing is believing. There are some truth in that, but it's not always, you know, in the Shastras, it says that you can see, but for instance, you can see the sun and you can make up your own interpretation, or you assume that the sun is this big and it's far away. It is far away, but what do we know of the sun? We don't know that much. We're not there to take a tape measure and measure it and know how big it is. It's what we hear that we take for granted. But we assume by seeing is different than hearing, because if you see it, you make up your own assumption, and assumption is not the best of information. So that's it. Anyway, if the punishment in jail is considered to be not working, what's the use of atonement? The question was, this next question was asked by Parishit Maharaj. He said, it seems that it's not working. People are still free to go on sinning in the same way. So what's the use of this atonement. So anybody got any idea?
The real Prashit atonement is the awakening of our dormant Krishna consciousness.
Yes, they haven't got the taste, so it's not been awakened, and they're not able to relish that sweetness of Krishna's devotional contact. Okay. So this nectar instruction has got 11 verses, and all are short but sweet. It's only a tiny little book, and it only cost about £1. Anybody's got it? Have we all got it?
Yes, Mataji, I got it.
Wonderful. It says here is a concise, profound spiritual guide in the Vaishnava tradition. They provide essential instructions on how to clean and prepare your heart for loving devotion to Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is easy to absorb and apply the deep key references of instructions, which includes 6 things you'll want to add to your life and 6 you'll want to uproot. Verse 4 explains how devotees interact in ways that bring them closer to Krishna. The final verse describes Krishna's most treasured object of love, translated with deeper inner meaning by Srila Prabhupada. There's been so many nice write-up about this book. It serves as a timeless guide for aspiring devotees and seekers on the path of spiritual perfection. How does it do that? By offering powerful, essential, fundamental instructions on their path of bhakti, the advanced stage of spiritual life in Krishna consciousness or Krishna prema. So how does it go on providing that? Here are some key themes from the Nectar instruction. Association with devotees, which is sadhu sangha. The text emphasizes the importance of associating with sincere devotees who inspire and guide us in our spiritual journey. Such association helps us cultivate devotion and avoid negative influences and seek out a guru to guide us. And why do you seek out a guru? A guru would help to guide us and teach us the way how to become pure devotees. And then that will help us to eventually develop into gurus and become people seeking us out. So what's the reason? Is to avoid offenses. The Upanishad just warns against using God-given senses in committing offenses. And again, I'll repeat the verse. Vacho vegam manasat kroda vegam jiva vegam udaro pasta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam pritavim sasheshat. So, some of the words I've already mentioned, I've gone through, but and the Manasaha refers to the mind. What happens to the mind? The mind is so important. It encompasses both the material and the conditioned soul, depending on the circumstances. By practicing yoga, main focus on Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it becomes resistive to material energy, which is Maya. And Prabhupada mentioned Krodha. Krodha is anger. Anger is, for instance, devotees, we can become angry, and how do we channel that anger to keep us in line with devotional practice? We actually have to think of having a guru and practicing Krishna consciousness purely by there are so many things you have to do. You have to be giving up all these material attachment, become humble, and try and get into an equipoise position. By humility, you develop these qualities, and then you're able to practice in a real pure form. And how do you do that? To gain the highest standard, you have to try and channel your energy into devotion, pure devotional service. So it says here, coming back to the word bachaha, the urge to speak ill of anyone, eat, and too much anything, controlling this urge is most important. Devotee aim to eat when Krishna provides them with prasadam. That's how you have to control it. You don't just eat anything and everything, and also as much as you can consume. You only eat as much as you're able to. Additionally, the Bhagavad Gita emphasizes moderation in eating and sleeping. For those practicing yoga, udhara upasta, eating too much is or too little, or as well as excessive sleep can hinder spiritual progress. So this is how we have to think about how we can reverse these activities to gain good spiritual progress. And udara refers to the belly, bodily functions. It encompasses the abdominal region. These terms highlight the significance of both the belly and the reproductive organs in human anatomy and well-being. Additionally, the word upasta pertains to the genitals. Together, these terms highlight the significance of both the belly and the reproductive organs in human anatomy and well-being. So finding a balanced approach is crucial. And how do we get that balance right? Rupa Goswami discussed important concept. Vega means field, desire, and urgent. Urgent makes us want to act on demands. Yes, so we get into this state like the thief. It's urgent for them to act on those impulses. So when they act on it, they're fulfilling their wants and not their needs. And so it's just a feel of urgency. Immediately they have to fulfill that desire. But whereas desire always there, more like ideal desire, daydreams, etc. Desire to go to the moon, for instance, is possible but difficult, therefore can be put on hold. It doesn't have to be, act on immediately. It's just, it could be just a dream, or it could be one day it could happen. But it's not an urgency matter. So the key thing is, how do we control all these difficult experiences in managing our sensual demands? The Nectar instruction says it highlights the importance of self-control. It states, a sober person who can tolerate the urge, as I mentioned earlier on, the mind's demand, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. This text talks about controlling and tolerating the desire of senses, from speech, mind, anger, tongue, stomach, genitals, to be fit enough to make disciples. Okay, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Marichi, one of the 7 great sages, is considered as an incarnation of the mind. Marichi has 6 sons, including Krodha, Anga. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service, emphasizing the importance of devotion and control over mental tendencies. Srila Rupa Goswami advocates engaging the speaking process in glorifying Lord Krishna. By so doing, the tongue can glorify the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Lord, helping to control mental impulses. In summary, Manasa Krodha highlights the need to manage anger and other mental urges, especially for those on a spiritual path. So the function of the tongue, as I say, could be one of the poisonous senses. If it could give you the chance to taste honey and nectar, or to drink poison, as one statement says. I think that bhajan says that as well, with Prabhupada's favorite bhajan. Hari Hari. You know that bhajan, Mataji? Goringi Mataji? Hari Hari Vipale Janama Gunainu. It says we waste our time trying to all the time drinking poison, not knowing that we are killing ourselves. Okay, anyway, so controlling the urge to speak too much by controlling this urge to speak and eat, verbally abuse, or okay, this tongue, this is the ill effect of the tongue, the poisonous part. You have the urge to eat too much, but by controlling this urge to speak or to eat, verbally abuse, ill talk anyone is essential. For instance, devotees aim to eat only when Krishna provides them with prasadam. I said that earlier on, didn't I? Okay, and moderate sleeping, practicing yoga enhances one. Srila Prabhupada and well-being. Srila Prabhupada says about keeping well, you have to be practicing a kind of yoga practice. Yes, what is that yoga practice called? Bhakti yoga. Have you heard of Bhakti yoga?
Bhakti yoga, Mataji.
Yeah. It says he practiced Bhakti yoga to reach a higher plane of practice. Okay, in the context of Vedic philosophy, there are 11 senses altogether. Let me break them down. Five knowledge acquiring senses: eyes seeing, ears for hearing, nose for smelling, tongue for tasting, skin for touching. Five working senses: voice for speaking, legs for walking, hands for handling objects, anus for excretion, genitals for procreation. Mind, often considered the 11 senses, it processes thoughts, emotions, and desires. The mind influences our perception and actions. Why have them in the first place? These senses are meant to serve the master of the senses, who resides within everyone's heart. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, I am seated in everyone's heart. So understanding this connection helps us use our senses wisely and purposefully. Controlling the senses is a fundamental aspect of yoga practice. Additionally, in yoga practice, focusing on the tip of the nose can help the heart and control the mind and senses. So yoga practice is crucial. So how is it crucial? Renunciation in yoga. The word yoga means to join or link oneself with the Supreme. We are naturally part of the Supreme, but our conditioned state, we are separated. To become a yogi, one must renounce the desire for sense gratification. Sense.
Jai Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
We are 15 minutes past. Nearly.
Okay, I just want to give a couple of examples to qualify much of the things that we say. Sorry, controlling. Oh dear, this thing is not working. Oh yeah. One of the stories about Daksha versus Lord Shiva, and there's some key points to show about anger. Daksha's sacrifice and Sati's grief. Daksha, powerful sage and the father of Sati, also known as Dakshayani, organized a grand yajna, sacrificial ritual, but intentionally excluded Lord Shiva and Sati from the event. And Sati, feeling hurt and insulted in a defiance mood, attended the yajna against Shiva's advice. At the yajna, Daksha publicly insulted Shiva, which deeply angered Sati. Unable to bear the humiliation, she protested violently, burning herself to death in the sacrificial fire. Shiva was wroth with fury and upon hearing of Sati's death, Shiva was filled with grief and rage. He created Virabhadra, a fierce warrior, from his dreadlocks, and sent him to Daksha's yajna. Virabhadra disrupted the yajna, destroyed everything, and beheaded Daksha. Daksha redemption. Shiva, in his compassion, restored Daksha's life by replacing his head with that of a goat. Daksha repented for his arrogance and sinful acts. He became a devoted follower of Shiva. Sati later reincarnated as Parvati and reunited with Shiva. The lesson from this story: the tale emphasizes the destructive power of anger and the importance of forgiveness and redemption. It also highlights the eternal bond between Shiva and Parvati. And then there's also another story about self-control, but probably I wouldn't continue. I had some nice stories, but I got lost with it all after I had that problem with the computer, and I repeated some of the things. I'm sorry.
No worries, Mataji. We shall continue in the another session.
Well, I'd like to continue on this book actually, because this intrigues me. So it got all the answers that we hanker about and wanting to know. It's beautiful little tiny book. It's the sweetest answer to our predicament. There's the Agastya course and King Indra Yumna as well. I was going to talk about, but maybe another time, unless you got time.
Maybe devotees, they may wanted to ask you some questions, Mataji.
Yes, okay.
So maybe this is very beautiful pastimes. I think we would like in a decent time so to discuss to go deep into that topics.
Yeah. We can revisit if people want to, yeah.
Yes, Mataji. Okay.
Any questions or comments or compliments? Or I doubt if there is any compliment. It was pretty messy, isn't it?
It's very beautiful points, Mataji. You have brought a very high topic, and it has got. I think we couldn't see what you are reading that one, but here we see one extra of instruction in this verse. But you are reading some part of it from you have noted down somewhere, isn't it, Mataji?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever you are reading, that is really wonderful points. We need to control the tongue and this mind. And even this, there are all the senses, 5 senses. Mind is leading. If one sense is weak or it is going down, then immediately the mind will be affected, and in return, mind will agitate remaining senses as well. So that way, even one sense is not controlled, it will make all other senses not controlled. Then so much of disturbance in the mind, equilibrium of mind. So that is my takeaway, Mataji. Dear devotees, do you have got any questions to Mataji? Kindly share. Garingi Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Got any questions to
No, Prabhuji, I don't have because this book is very nice and very important sloka. This one, Bata Begum, Manasa Begum. Prabhuji explained very nicely.
Hare Krishna, yes. I'm back on the phone because that one cut off again. Sorry. Sorry, what were you saying, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
I was cut off.
This,
Sorry.
this verse is very nice, Mataji. This book, I have this book in my language, so sometime I read this one. So this verse is very important. You mentioned this one very nicely, so it's very nice, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for the comments. Anything rather say for Mataji? Prabhavati Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, this is like everyone said, is such a wonderful topic that you picked, and because it gives us like practical examples. So just, and you gave like really good examples, like especially the Sati one, and like say my question is, let's say like she's like the goddess, yeah, like she's part and parcel of Krishna, she is Krishna. How if she was unable to tolerate an insult and she became very angry, how can we, if we are so provoked sometimes, what is the best way to not react? Like sometimes, you know, with all the goodwill in the world, we don't want to be angry, like it feels horrible. What, you know, have you got any tips?
Well, yeah, I think you're very right on the ball there about she's a goddess, but she's not. Did you say she was Krishna?
She's the other side of Krishna, isn't it? Like
Oh, she's a goddess, and so you know she's got qualities that should be shining and giving us example how to manage it. But you know, it goes to show that as I said, the lesson was, you know, it's kind of what we can do is to do the natural, because we live in the material world. We really breathe and step back, take a step backwards, and actually think before we open our mouths. It doesn't mean you keep quiet. You know, when you say speak when you need to speak, eat when you need to eat, that kind of thing. But is it important? Is it needing that kind of? Because really, when you think about it, when you're angry, what happens to you physically? You're really disturbed, aren't you? You get really, and that's why we lash out so quick, because we're overwhelmed with this awful feeling that you cannot bear it. You want to rid it. So what you do, you lash out, and then you remorseful afterwards. You don't feel that you can actually you know, sustain this, because you feel sorry that you've done it. You know it's upset you. And who is the one that suffers most? You're the one that suffers most, not the other person as much as you do, because you have to conjured up this kind of awful energy to lash out to somebody and pursue it, which is a lengthy waste of energy. And then you feel exhausted with it and really painful. So what do? You have to try and work it out what will work better than that awful feeling that you experience afterwards. That's how I manage my difficulties when it, you know, I'm not a saint. I do get angry, as all of you know. You know, I can get angry, and of course my way of dealing with it is my tongue, and it's not easy. And I'm aware of it. So if you're aware of it, that's a good sign, because you can do something about it. But when it grabs you at the moment, it's very hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but this yoga thing, that you take a deep breath, focus on your nose, that is a good thing, because you can see a lot different when you focus on your nose. You see Krishna. Is better than to wallow in that awful messy feeling. I've been there, I know it, I've done it. So And I don't like the feeling, so I try to make it work for me and the other person. Don't forget, you have to think of the other person as being a spark of Krishna's energy. So Krishna is in everyone and everything. And if you can visualize Krishna there, you will just draw back from that kind of way of thinking and acting. Does it make sense? I know it's not easy
No,
though.
yeah, it does make sense, Mataji. So, like obviously you just mentioned like Krishna, you see so obviously the anger is also in Krishna as well. Like so how do we see the Lord's anger, and how do we like
when you say the anger is in Krishna, can you
not anger,
give
like
us
say,
a
like say for
quote on that?
example, yeah, like say for example, like Nishingadev, he is like a ugra, like his mood is a mood of like anger. And like when like we hear stories like when Lord wants to like have duel or what have you, he will he will do lila, and obviously the demons come. And so there is an aspect of Krishna that is also like that. So obviously that's the Lord's, that's different. But is there a way to utilize our anger in service of Krishna?
Yes, of course. That's what I was coming to. So you can dovetail that and think of Krishna, because if you see Krishna and everybody, you will get that sort of break, in that space to think that how can I do it? You will dovetail it and focus on devotional service to Krishna, because Krishna, by thinking of him, he saves you. He saves you all the time, but then you destroy yourself by having that free will, and you destroy that lovely feeling that Krishna puts in us and helps us to manage our daily living. And so you have to keep all the time being aware, awareness. That's why they call it Krishna consciousness, is being conscious of Krishna, being conscious of how you tread, where every step you make, what are you stepping onto, and how you can not step on it. If you watch these real pure devotees and people who are elevated, when they walk, you see them walk as though their feet don't touch the ground, with humility. There is one young man in the temple, you probably know him, they call him David. Do you know him?
Yeah,
The Irish.
yeah,
Oh, when David walks, you watch him. I've learned from David. He walks as though, and some people come in the temple and they go boom, boom with their feet like this, really loud when they're preaching, and people are singing and deep into Shastric verses. They're bang, bang on the floor when they walk. They come and they bang the bell when they come in, and when they go out, they bang the bell again. It's like this. But David walks in such graceful way. So we
yeah,
can learn from you watch these people, observe them, you'll see the difference in how you can, control your outburst or your feeling, and get into a lovely, peaceful. Isn't it lovely when you're in that lovely, peaceful state? Don't you want
yeah,
to keep it? Don't you
yeah,
want to retain it? This is what you got to ask yourself. Do I want to destroy? But you see, we're so conditioned into hurting the other person because you're hurting, you want to revenge it. We all do it because that's how we grew up, and we've survived in the school days and in the competitive situations. So it's very, very difficult to do it. But if you carry these little tools in your head, and the main tool that we can carry is your bag of beads. Treasure it as your golden Krishna in your hand. Go carrying Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is golden, isn't he? Think that he is the golden beads in your hands. He's the golden person in that bean bag. It does help, all these little things. It sounds silly, but it does help.
Thank you so much, Mataji. That is a really good tip.
Yes.
That, like,
When you pick
yeah.
up that bean bag, that is the time you say, I'm taking my favorite tools, my best tools to see me through the day, which is your bean bag, the golden beads in that bag. It's beautiful. When we get into this angry state, we find it very out of control. We get angry, we speak out of tone, we're in a haste, we attack the other person verbally, blaming and shaming, and then afterwards we got a heart, we all got a heart. We feel sorry, but it's sometimes irreversible. You damage that relationship, and it's very hard to undo. So you got to think a little bit extra thinking before you start. And sorry, I can go on and on and on. And then it becomes chronic anger, and it's hard to climb out of it. Chronicity is the most difficult thing to manage, So some simple ways to keep in control, a little check here and there will help you. Sorry, Prabhu. Oh my God, it's late as ever. 9:30.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So you're explaining, so there is no end for Krishna Katha. So beautiful, and we can take as much as it can. Yeah, now we need to wake up tomorrow morning. So
Yeah.
again for the japa. Request any other devotees if you got any other questions to Mataji and any comment.
We didn't hear from the other Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Please accept my humble obeisances. It's really, really nice topic, Mataji. And as you said, and Prabhu said, it's endless. So much is there to explain in that, actually. Very, very nice. Yeah, this topic itself is nice. Nectar of instructions is so beautiful, but the first verse is so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you so much for the beautiful explanation. Very nice, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Well, I don't think I was very good at one point. When I got disconnected, I went out to trail. Sorry about that. Haribo. Okay, shall we sing Nasimha prayers?
Yes, Mataji. So yeah, we can. Yes, Mataji.
And, who wants to help? Or do I just sing it and because of time?
Think Radha Shekha Mataji is ready. And
Okay. Come on. Do you want to do it, my love? Carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah.
Mataji, will someone follow? Will you follow?
Yeah, I can do Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhupada Mataji, yeah.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlad Lad Daine.
Prahladaladadayine.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Hiranyakashipurvakshaha.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Shilatankanakalaye.
Ito Narsimho Parato Narsimho.
Ito Narasimha Parato Narasimha.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narsimho.
Yato Yato Yami Tato Narasimha.
Bahir Narsimho Hridayi Narsimho.
बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो
नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे
नरसिंहमतिं शरणं प्रपते
तव करकमलवारे नाकाम् अद्भुतशृङ्गाम् दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गाम् केशवधृता नरहरिरूपः जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
तव करकमलवरे नका अद्भुतशृङ्गा दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गा केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव
जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय भक्त प्रहलाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल
नृसिंहदेव भगवान की
जय
जय
भक्त प्रहलाद महाराज की
जय
जय
श्रील प्रभुपाद की
Jai.
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
हरे कृष्ण
Hari Hari Bol.
हरि हरि बोल
Okay,
Very nice.
can we all
Thank you.
do 3 loud Haribols to Jahnukanya Mataji, please?
Oh no, don't please.
हरि
I
हरि
बोल
बोल
हरि
हरि
बोल हरि
Haribol.
बोल
Haribol. Thank you
Very
so much,
nice.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. If it helps, if there's any chance and they want to fill a gap, I could repeat this because I feel like I shortchange you.
Yes, Mataji, we can have another session. So where we
Because
can
it is a sweet verse. It is so sweet. I've left out so many sweet advice and quotes and things. Yeah. And because I think I got caught in the system of the computer, and it made me repeat some of the things which was the others nectar bit have been lost. Horrible.
Sure, Mataji. So next time we share the screen within the screen. If you just send me, I can share the screen so we follow you what you are reading.
Okay. Yes, a good idea actually. I'm not good at PowerPoint. I suppose that's what it was. Yeah, I'll try and do a PowerPoint. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could share by yourself, Mataji. So that
Yes.
happens.
Yeah, and also if there's a space, like somebody cancel or something, then I could fill the gap.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Yeah.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you so much, Mataji. We are 40 minutes past. And dear devotees, if you're all happy, don't have any updates or you want to share anything else, otherwise we can close the session for today. Okay, thank you so much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha.
Atirubhyascha kripasindhu Vaishnavendyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnavendra ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.